Disclaimer: this video contains AI-generated visuals, graphics, and/or voiceovers for entertainment and storytelling purposes only. None of the events or scenes depicted should be taken as real or factual. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel.
Breaking news.
In breaking news. We are coming to you live with a breaking news update right now. Breaking news. And we have breaking news this hour. Good evening, everyone. We have some breaking news. We begin tonight with a story that has not only shaken the sports world, but is now sparking outrage across the globe. Chicago Bulls star guard Rahmir Williams Jr. is at the center of a growing national controversy after disturbing footage surfaced late last night, showing the 19-year-old NBA superstar being violently restrained and slammed to the ground by Boston police officers during what witnesses describe as a routine traffic stop. The video, which has now amassed hundreds of millions of views across social media platforms worldwide, appears to show Williams fully cooperating with officers before the situation escalated.
Step out of the vehicle! I said step out of the vehicle! Now! Turn around! Hands behind your back! Don't move! Keep your hands behind
In
your
the
back!
footage,
Stop
Williams can be
resisting!
seen exiting his
resisting.
vehicle with
Stop
his hands
resisting!
raised after officers
resisting.
instructed him to step
You're
out of the
being
car.
detained.
Moments
Do not pull
later,
away.
officers
Ground.
forcefully
Now,
take him to the
you're under
pavement,
arrest.
while witnesses can be heard yelling for police to stop. Sources close to the situation say Williams suffered injuries to his shoulder, ribs, and lower back with a few bruises on his face during the arrest.
Tonight, emotions here in Chicago are extremely high. Protesters have flooded downtown streets demanding accountability and calling the arrest excessive, unnecessary, and traumatic. Many supporters say this situation goes far beyond basketball.
And tonight, those demonstrations are no longer limited to Chicago. We are now receiving reports of Black Lives Matter rallies and solidarity marches taking place in New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, London, Paris, Toronto, and even parts of South Africa. Athletes, celebrities, civil rights leaders, and fans around the world are speaking out in support of Rahmir Williams Jr. While Williams has since been released, many activists say justice is not simply about freedom. They argue justice means accountability. Protest organizers are now demanding a full investigation into the officers involved, specifically questioning why such aggressive force was used against someone they say was visibly complying with police commands. One protest leader earlier today stated, quote, "Being free doesn't erase the trauma. Being free doesn't erase the injuries. Accountability matters." The Chicago Bulls organization released a brief statement earlier tonight saying they are gathering information and monitoring the situation closely. Meanwhile, NBA players across the league have reportedly discussed wearing Black Lives Matter warm-up shirts before upcoming playoff games in solidarity with Williams. And tonight, perhaps the most heartbreaking image of all. Rahmir Williams Jr., one of the brightest young stars in basketball, remains away from the game as he recovers physically and emotionally from an incident that has now become much larger than sports. We will continue to follow this developing story throughout the night as more details become available. For now, reporting live from Chicago, I'm Deborah Dennis. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Before the victory's won, some would be misunderstood and called bad names and dismissed as rabble-rousers and agitators. But we shall overcome. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice.
Pops always told me there's more to life than just basketball. I
I guess over the years, I put this unfair expectation over my life. And that expectation was to not only deliver, but to also conquer. But for who? Basketball was my escape, my coping mechanism whenever life would get hard. Well, how do I escape from a place I used to escape to? That situation with Boston's police really drew me away from the game. Bad enough I was physically banged up, but even when I eventually got well from my injuries, I still couldn't look at a basketball the same. I spent endless nights walking the beach and meditating and really becoming one with myself again. And I even spent 2 to 3 times out of the week going to therapy. I never really realized how important mental health was until it truly affected me. These past 2 months have taught me to not only control your controllables, but to also take ownership in progressive realignment. So after all the therapy sessions, long walks on the beach meditating, surrounding myself around family and friends who care deeply about me, and having that time to reflect, I think I am ready to go publicly and talk about the situation. I feel like this next step is crucial. My agent gave me a list of journalists and NBA reporters I could sit down with. He had names like Stephen S. Smith, Shannon Sharp, The Breakfast Club, even Ryan Clark, who I love and respect, but I respectfully declined all those names. I told my agent the only way I do this is if I sit down with someone I trust and who I see making this opportunity about integrity and reporting things accurately and not just looking for a headline. I told my agent I wanted to sit down with Shad Saint. He looked at me crazy like Shad Saint. I told him that's the only way I'll sit down and discuss this situation. Shad Saint is an up-and-coming black journalist from Mississippi. He's 27 years old, and I see his hunger. He's the only journalist I watched during this time that had all of the information accurate and moved with so much integrity when writing these articles as it pertains to my situation and how often people who look like me get treated, no matter the person that's on the inside of the skin. My agent definitely understood where I was coming from, so he reached out to Shad and set everything up.
First off, thank you for doing this.
Appreciate you for having me.
I want to start here. How are you?
Honestly, I'm trying. Some days are easier than others. Some days I feel normal. Some days I replay everything over and over again.
What's been the hardest part?
Feeling powerless. That's the part people don't understand. When you're in that moment, you realize how fast life can change. 1 minute I'm trying to catch a flight. Next minute, I'm on the ground in handcuffs.
Did you fear for your life?
Yeah, and that's hard to admit as a man.
Why?
Because growing up, especially as black men, we get taught to suppress everything. You gotta be tough. You gotta move on. You gotta act like nothing affects you. But trauma don't disappear just because you ignore it.
You stepped away from basketball after the incident. Was that difficult?
Extremely. Basketball always been my escape. So when I couldn't even find peace in the game anymore, that scared me. I'd be in the gym hearing whistles, seeing flashing lights in my head.
And that's when therapy came in?
Yeah, therapy saved me.
That's powerful to hear from somebody in your position.
I think more athletes go through things than people realize. We just don't talk about it enough.
What would you say to young people watching this?
Take care of your mental. Talk to somebody. Lean on your people. Don't suffer in silence because you think it make you weak.
The city of Chicago rallied behind you. NBA players spoke up. People protested for you. What did that support mean to you?
Everything. Because for a minute, I felt alone. Seeing people stand behind me, that gave me strength.
Do you feel anger toward the officers involved?
I ain't trying to live angry. What happened already took enough from me mentally. I don't want to carry hate too.
That's maturity.
Nah, that's healing.
So what now?
Now,
I take my life back. I keep growing. I keep leading. I keep loving my family. And eventually, I get back to hooping.
Chicago missed you.
I miss Chicago too.
Thanks for taking your time out and coming to share with me, man. That means a lot. And I know we just met, but man, if there's anything you need, or if you just need an ear, man, I'm always here. This is Shad Saint signing off.
It felt good to get some of that rust off of my trainer. He's worked with Westbrook, Steph, Melo, and KD, guys who have bounced back tremendously whenever they had to miss out on basketball due to injury. Me, I was overcoming some bodily injuries, but mainly I was just trying to mentally get to a point to where coming back to the game felt like a right move. It was good to be around the guys again first practice back, and you already know me and Boogie Walker picked up right where we left off. It was good to see my team being supportive and having my back. We had a little hiccup in the road, but now it's time to pick up where I left off, and that's conquering the league.
And going through their pregame warm-ups, trying to get loose and focused here before. Hi, and thanks for joining us on 2K Sports NBA action. It's coming up. Brian Anderson here, joined by the Hall of Famer Grant Hill and Coach Stan Van Gundy. We'll hear from Allie LaForce as well. Now, here's Williams and the starting group for Chicago. They've got Williams. He's out there with Walker, and it's Smith in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Williams with it. Maxey covering. Now, here's Williams to the left wing. A deep three. An absolute bomb from three-point range. Walker, a screen on Maxey. Here's Williams. Here's Walker. Uses the glass to finish. There's a screen. Here's Williams. And there's another one for Chicago.
Now, you want to get him going as soon as possible.
And here's Harris outside. Smith with the rebound. For Chicago, they've gone 3 of 4. Off to a nice start. Pure from three-point range.
They've really come out swinging, hitting 4 of their first 5 shots.
So Nick Nurse has decided to call timeout here. Coach probably just checking to make sure everybody's on the same page here. 5 to shoot. Walker sets a screen. Williams into the lane. And Williams punches it home.
Game plan.
And then Embiid with the dunk.
What a critical bucket. This game could have gotten out of hand early if they allowed that run to go much longer.
Grant, Tobias Harris has been around the league. What's his best asset?
You know, I think it's his reliability and versatility.
Williams with it. He's got 9. Ooh, coming through again. Shooting 5 for 7 now.
Yeah, their defense is starting to wear down. That's 3 straight buckets at the rim.
Here's Chicago now. They've gone on a 16-2 run, not allowing much.
The offensive game plan is clear. Get it inside and go to work.
Chicago leading by 16. Williams in the post. Maxey covering. And Williams punches it home.
Well, you know, it's already tough to play like this at home, but it's even tougher to do so on the road.
To earn everything I got from a basketball perspective and make a name for myself. I try hard to foresee and envision this. Back to you.
The drive for greatness. All right, out. Williams on the wing, covered by Grimes. And Williams punches. It's Philadelphia now. The Bulls making their last shot. And Williams punches it home. Grimes, and it's Bona in at the center, locking down the middle. That's the group in the game for the 76ers. Williams' shot is good. It's stolen away. And it's flushed down. A nice jam.
What a two-way play. Just tremendous.
Yeah, the steal was slick. The slam topped it off.
And that is why you want how active they've been defensively, forcing turnovers and making the offense uncomfortable.
And also their pressure defense is paying dividends tonight, turning them over and getting out in the open floor and running.
And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Just 5 to shoot. Shoots. And there's another one for Chicago.
Two-hand mega slam.
Man, I don't think anyone was going to stop him there. Well, Grant, if you had to say, is there anything you think is underrated about Embiid?
You know, B.A., I think it's his intelligence. Joel's a heady player, sometimes big, steadily rising as a result. Williams against Maxey.
Williams looking around, and he dumps it down.
Now, I know he...
Nice.
Ooh, finishes with style. A double clutch jam. Pass to Williams. Going inside. Ooh, a beautiful reverse layup. Pass to Williams. Oh, he goes big with the dunk right over Joel Embiid.
So yes, tonight these are lime green. Tomorrow, we'll just have to see.
On the court for Chicago, we've got Smith, Trey.
Hard to think what didn't go well for them. Their plan, their execution, everything was absolutely on point.
This will mark their 13th win of the year. Not a bad number.
It's just the start of this season.
And another one. The baskets were coming early and often.
Rahmir, welcome back. Tonight, you finished with 58 points, 7 rebounds, and 11 assists in your first game back after everything you've been through. How emotional was this moment for you?
Man, tonight was emotional. I ain't gonna lie. There was a point during warm-ups where I kind of had to gather myself for a second because I didn't know how I was going to feel stepping back out there in front of that crowd again. But once that ball went up, it just felt right.
There were moments tonight where it looked like the crowd was feeding you energy every time you touched the basketball. Did you feel the city of Philadelphia behind you tonight?
Philly gave me so much love tonight. I felt every bit of it. Every time I touched the ball, every cheer, every chant, it honestly gave me strength out there. This city stood behind me when I needed it most, so I'll never forget that.
Throughout the game, we saw your teammates constantly encouraging you and embracing you during timeouts. What has their support meant to you over these last few months?
My teammates been everything for me these last couple months. They checked on me, stayed in contact with me, kept me uplifted. Boogie especially. That's really my brother for real. He made sure I never felt alone through all this.
Mentally, what was the toughest part about returning to the court tonight?
Mentally, the toughest part, honestly, was trusting myself again. Trusting my mind. Trusting that I could go back out there and still play free without constantly replaying everything in my head. There were definitely moments tonight where emotions hit me during the game. But I kept hearing my parents in my head telling me to keep going.
There was a sequence late in the fourth quarter where you hit back-to-back tough shots and then pointed toward the crowd. What was going through your mind during that moment?
That sequence in the fourth quarter, man, the crowd was so loud, I almost blacked out for a second. I was just playing off emotion at that point.
Spoken openly recently about therapy and mental health. Do you feel like this performance was not only a basketball victory, but a personal victory for you as a man?
I think tonight was bigger than basketball, honestly. Yeah, the stat line cool, the win cool, but mentally, just being able to smile again, being able to enjoy the game again, that meant everything to me.
There's going to be a lot of people tonight saying this was one of the greatest comeback performances they've ever seen. What would you say to people who continued to support you through this difficult chapter of your life?
And to everybody that supported me through all this, thank you.
Last question, Rahmir. After everything that's happened these last few months, what does basketball mean to you now?
Basketball was everything to me. Now, it's part of my life. Not my whole life. My family, my peace, my mental health. That comes first now.
There you have it, folks. Rahmir Williams Jr.
Boy, you was tripping tonight.
Man, shut up.
Nah, I'm serious. 58 after everything you just went through, that ain't normal.
I don't even think I was thinking out there, honestly. I was just hooping.
That's when you at your best, though.
I ain't gonna lie, though. That break helped me, mentally. Before all this happened, I thought being mentally strong meant holding everything in. Just keep moving, keep hooping. But that junk catch up to you.
Facts. People think because we athletes we don't be dealing with real life. Whole time we human before anything.
You ever think about how crazy this all is? 2 kids from Florida, in Chicago, trying to change a franchise.
Nah, for though. And low key, I think we can really do it.
We gotta stack wins, especially before All-Star break. If we can hit a rhythm, get to that 7th or 8th seed, anything possible after that.
Especially with you playing like that. Now, I've been noticing something, though. You different after all this. Your game is like, I don't know. This is the best way I can explain it. It's like you control everything, but it's not loud. I don't know, man. Like, it's like you calm under pressure and can adapt naturally to anything. Everything is just calmer, but somehow colder. Like how you be moving out there sometime, it's like you'll be in one place and then boom, you already to your spot. And now all I see is the ball going through the hoop. It's like dudes can't even feel you out there. You just there, then gone. I don't know, kind of like a ghost.
They say this is a big rich town. I just confront the